Good afternoon. Welcome to The Ambassador with me, your Ambassador Susan Nganga. To our top story, Sudan's Rapid Support Forces and allied groups have signed a charter to form the Government of Peace and Unity, further deepening the country's divisions after nearly 2 years of civil war. The move, condemned by the Sudanese army and raising concerns from the United Nations, highlights the escalating power struggle as both sides push for control while the nation faces a worsening humanitarian crisis.
Sudan's Rapid Support Forces and allied groups have signed a charter to establish a government of peace and unity, a move condemned by the Sudanese army and raising concerns from the United Nations. Among the signatories is powerful rebel leader Abdelaziz Ali Hilu, who has long pushed for Sudan to embrace secularism. The Rapid Support Forces, which controls large parts of Darfur and Kordofan, claims the new government aims to unify the country and end the nearly 2-year war, though it is unlikely to gain widespread recognition. The conflict, sparked by a power struggle between the Rapid Support Forces and the army, has devastated Sudan, displacing millions and pushing half the population into hunger. The Rapid Support Forces leader, General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, has faced U.S. sanctions for alleged human rights abuses. Meanwhile, the army, led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, recently expanded its constitutional powers and plans to announce a war cabinet soon. The charter signing took place in Kenya, sparking diplomatic tensions, with the Sudan condemning Nairobi's involvement. The cross-door event followed high-profile gathering in Nairobi earlier in the week, which also drew criticism. With Sudan further fragmenting and both functions digging in, the prospect for peace remains grim as the humanitarian crisis worsens. Paris Kigo, GBS News.
A tragic event has occurred in Haiti as the Kenyan-led peace enforcement mission lost its first officer since arriving. A Kenyan police officer has died from injuries caused during an anti-government operation in Port-au-Prince. This is a sad moment for the multinational peacekeeping force, which was sent to help restore order and fight gang violence in Haiti.
To the Aspen Level 2 hospital, the officer, a member of the Kenyan contingent, was injured on Sunday, February 23, 2025, during an operation in the north of the capital. The Kenyan officer was immediately airlifted to the Aspen Level 2 hospital, but tragically succumbed to his injuries, as confirmed by the MSS Force Commander Godfrey Otunge. In a statement issued early this morning, Godfrey expressed sorrow over the loss. The loss underscores the dangers faced by peacekeepers deployed in Haiti, a country dealing with violent gang control in several regions. The mission, led by Kenyan police officers and supported by a smaller contingent of soldiers from Caribbean nations, aims to restore stability and security in the country. However, these peacekeepers are often operating under difficult and dangerous conditions, with reports of ill-equipped forces confronting well-armed gangs. The death of this officer brings into stark focus the challenges faced by international peace enforcement missions, with calls for better support and resources for those on the front lines. The Kenyan-led team is now working to support local authorities and curb the rising violence, but the loss of one of their own highlights the immense risk involved. The mission remains ongoing, with hopes that further international cooperation will bring an end to the ongoing crisis in Haiti. Reporting for GBS News, Irene Juguna.
South Africa's power utility Eskom has ramped up control outages in Stage 6, cutting 3,000 megawatts from the grid after sudden escalation in breakdowns at aging coal plants. The move, described as, and I quote, essential, marks the country's worst power cuts since November 2023, raising fresh concerns over energy stability. Here is more.
South Africa Power Utility Eskom has announced control outages, cutting 3,000 megawatts of electricity from the grid. due to what is called a temporary setback. The measure, known as load shedding, follows similar cuts in January after nearly 10 months of uninterrupted power. Eskom said it will provide an update on Sunday, but did not specify the cause of the latest issues. The outages are often triggered by breakdown at Eskom aging coal plants, which supply most of the South Africa electricity. In the early hours of Sunday, Eskom escalated the cuts to stage 6 after multiple failures at power stations.
Technically, we should have done things earlier, so we would consider it not a success. But we've learned from that, and other stations are now applying lessons learned from Komati.
They described the move as essential to replenish emergency reserves and prepare for the week ahead. This is the most severe power cut since November 2023. As businesses and households brace for more disruptions, the latest setback highlighted the urgent need for sustainable energy solutions to stabilize the country power supply. Paris Kigo, GBS News.
The United Kingdom and India are set to resume crucial free trade negotiations following nearly year-long pause, with both countries having held over a dozen rounds of talks since 2022. Key issues such as tariffs on Scotch whisky and visa reforms for Indian professionals remain unresolved. United Kingdom Business Secretary Jonathan Reynolds is in Delhi for the two-day discussions alongside Indian counterpart Piyush Goyal, as both nations aim to strengthen their trade ties.
India and the UK are set to resume free trade talks nearly a year after discussions were paused due to elections in both countries. UK Business and Trade Secretary Jonathan Reynolds is in Delhi for the two-day negotiations with his Indian counterpart Piyush Goyal. Despite over a dozen rounds of talks since 2022, key sticking points remain, including high tariffs on whisky and demands for relaxed visas and fee rules for Indian students and professionals in the UK. Reynolds emphasized the importance of securing a trade deal with India, which is predicted to become the world's third largest economy in the coming years. The UK views the trade relationship as vital, particularly in sectors such as advanced manufacturing, clean energy and financial services. For India, the deal could help boost its export growth ambitions with a target of increasing exports by 1 trillion by the financial year 2030. The UK is also seen as a high-priority trading partner for India. In addition to trade talks, Reynolds and Goyal are visiting a BT office in Gurugram, while UK Investment Minister Poppy participates in events in Mumbai and Bengaluru. India, having signed multiple trade deals in recent years, including a 100 billion deal with the European Free Trade Association, is also set to resume negotiations with the European Union this year. Teresa Tiengo, GBS News.
Thank you for staying with us. We have covered some important stories today, but there is more to come, including the ongoing freeze in the US aid. Stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Tutakuwa tunaangazia masuala mengi kuhusu uongozi na maendeleo, na pia tutakuwa tunaangalia uongozi wa kuigwa na vijana. Kuna idara za serikali, kuna tume ya EACC, kuna idara za mahakama na kuna parliament, lakini tumeshindwa kutekeleza chapter 6 of Kenyan Constitution to the point that ya kwamba watoto wachanga ndio wanatuonyesha jinsi ya ndio wanatuweka katika mistari sabamba ya kuratibisha kifungu cha 6 cha katiba ya Kenya.
When we try tukijaribu sana kuangalia mambo politically na tuangalie vizuri pande hii nyingine ya kijamii, nafikiri hapa kuna kuwa na mwanya katikati, na hiyo mwanya ndiyo ambayo sasa imekuja kujazwa na hii generation.
What has it this far that now they are saying enough is enough?
Wakati Daktari William Samoei Ruto alichukua hatamu za uongozi, mnakumbuka ya kwamba the opposition walianza zile demonstrations zao za kusema the cost of living imeenda juu sana. Ijaribu kushukishwa kidogo ili watu wakuwe na muamana katika nchi. Na hiyo pia iliadhiri serikali yake pakubwa.
Sababu ya watu kwenda kwa maandamano ilikuwa kutoridhika na mambo yanavyofanywa wakati finance bill ilipitishwa, na wakati tunaangalia sababu ya zenyewe kupitishwa tunaona si sababu za kusaidia vijana.
What's happened after the Kenya Kwanza imereduce still wanamwandamania?
So ile ambayo wananchi wa Kenya wanakasirika ni kwa sababu we are expecting leaders, and especially led by the president, to be giving us policies that can give effect to Article 43 of the Kenyan Constitution.
There's nothing that can happen to a man, not unless God allows it to happen.
Do according to him, and he shall love you. He shall love them, and he shall take care of them. Because he says, those who love me, I will hold their hands till the end of time.
Invite someone to come to your house. One of the things that they cannot forget is the phone charge.
When it comes to relationships and probably communication, that distance is not a barrier.
Yeah.
But it is in communication, in effective communication.
So have you told your daughter how they acquire HIV and AIDS? Yeah. When I go to speak in school, they will tell me, ukimwi ni mnyama mbaya. And no, sio mnyama. They have to know how it happens.
Hello, kids. Did you know a year has 31,557,600 seconds? Why do you think so? Exactly. There are 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, and 365 and 25 days in a year. We count the extra 0.25 because of leap year. When you multiply all these numbers together, you get a huge number of seconds. That's why a year feels long, but time still flies when you are having fun.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the bulletin. Now, the Trump administration has announced major cuts the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID, laying off approximately 1,600 domestic employees and placing thousands of foreign staff on paid administrative leave. The decision is part of the administration's ongoing effort to reduce government spending and reshape foreign aid operations. Here's more on that scene.
Employs over 10,000 people worldwide and oversees a variety of humanitarian and development programs, is now facing substantial cuts. The Trump administration is moving forward with a controversial plan to reduce its workforce, eliminating 2,000 positions and placing thousands of foreign service officers and direct hires on administrative leave. The agency's move comes after a federal judge ruled in favor of the administration push to lay off workers and demand that those employed overseas return to the United States. The drastic measure will see most employees placed on leave, with the exception of those performing mission-critical functions, core leadership, or working on specially designated programs. The decision is part of a broader effort by President Donald Trump to cut foreign aid programs, which he and his ally, tech billionaire Elon Musk, have repeatedly criticized. USAID is known for delivering vital humanitarian aid and development assistance across the globe, and the recent cuts are expected to have far-reaching consequences for its operations. These reductions come as part of Trump's continued focus on slashing government spending, particularly in foreign aid, a move that has sparked both support and strong opposition. Reporting for GBS News, Irene Juguna.
Faithfuls around the world yesterday held special masses to pray for Pope Francis' quick recovery. This follows news from the Vatican Catholic headquarters in Rome, Italy, that the Pope was critically ill due to difficulty in breathing for almost 2 weeks. Victor Dunn reports.
The October on Sunday yesterday, news that Pope Francis is critically ill. The octogenarian after suffering from difficulty in breathing for days. Doctors and the Pope's surgeon Sergio Alfieri say the Pope is still critically ill and may still remain hospitalized.
Quando non sarà più necessario somministrare terapie ospedaliere.
The news prompted Catholic faithfuls worldwide to hold special masses to pray for the Pope's quick recovery. Pope Francis has led the Catholic Church since the year 2013. The illness now casts doubt over his ability to continue leading the 1.4 billion Catholics. On the 21st of February this year, cardinals had acknowledged his possible resignation. The Vatican allows the Pope to quit if his health issue becomes a hurdle in his work. In 2013, Pope Benedict XVI became the first pope in 600 years to resign. Victor Udung, the ambassador.
From GBS, we wish Pope Francis a quick recovery. Now, OpenAI has banned accounts linked to users in China and North Korea. The company says these accounts are engaged in malicious activities. These activities, including spreading propaganda and attempting financial fraud. OpenAI used its own AI tools to detect these operations. The company's report details specific instances of misuse. This action highlights growing concerns about the misuse of AI technology. Here is more on that.
OpenAI has announced it has banned accounts linked to users in China and North Korea. The company says accounts were engaged in malicious activities, including spreading propaganda and attempting financial fraud. OpenAI revealed that it used its own AI tools to identify and shut down these operations. The company stated that these actions were taken to prevent authoritarian regimes from exploiting AI technology against the US and their own citizens. The report detailed several specific instances of misuse where users leveraged ChatGPT to create Spanish-language news articles critical of the United States. These articles were then published in mainstream Latin American news outlets under the byline of a Chinese company. In another instance, individuals potentially linked to the North Korea used AI to generate fake resumes and online profiles. The goal, according to OpenAI, was to secure employment at Western companies through fraudulent means. The users employed ChatGPT to translate and create comments for various social media and communication platforms, including X and Facebook. The US government has previously voiced concerns regarding China's alleged use of artificial intelligence for repression, misinformation, disinformation campaigns and undermining the security of US and its allies. OpenAI's actions highlight the growing concerns about the potential misuse of powerful technology. ChatGPT has become the most popular AI chat box, boasting over 400 million weekly active users. The company is currently in discussions to raise up to $40 billion in funding, potentially valuing the company at a staggering $300 billion. This move by OpenAI underscores the company's commitment to responsible AI development and its efforts to mitigate the risk associated with its technology. Tuza Tiengo, GBS News.
Now, Germany has decided a political shakeup in Germany. The opposition conservative claim victory, but the real shocker, the far-right Alternative for Germany, AfD, secures its strongest post-war result. What does this mean for Europe's biggest economy? Our reporter Joy Kuria has more on that.
Germany's political landscape take a dramatic turn. Friedrich Merz and his conservative union bloc took the top spot with around 28.5% of the votes, but the biggest headline, the right Alternative for Germany doubles its support, hitting a historic 20.5%, marking the strongest showing for a far-right party since World War II. That's how outgoing Chancellor Olaf Scholz described his party disastrous, finishing with just over 16%, saying it was the worst post-war performance. Meanwhile, the Greens polled 12%, and the once powerful Free Democrats struggled to stay afloat, barely reaching 4.5%. While AfD supporters cheer, thousands take to the street in protest fearing a hard rate shift. AfD co-leader Tino Chrupalla calls it historic, but Merz refuses to work with AfD despite their gain. Now, all eyes are on coalition talks, with Merz aiming to form a government by Easter. Will he succeed? What does this mean for Germany's role in Europe and NATO? Joy Kuria, GBS News.
Here at the Ambassador, we say congratulations AfD. And that international news marks the end of our bulletin today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, same place, same time at 1 p.m. Remember, here at Ambassador, we make your news our business. Have been your Ambassador Susan Nganga. Good afternoon.